So lately we've been hearing the news of the 100 crore ratings scam. In my view, this is no news. It's a system failure. It's a constant system failure that's been a recurring problem for the last 25 years. There is no individual to blame, no broadcaster or no agency. It is the system itself which is prone to failure. And the reason for that is the involvement of the tech, which includes a hardware called a people meter. Now, let me try and explain how this works. We are trying to measure the consumption of linear TV in a country with a population of 1430 million. Now, all homes do not have a linear TV connection. The total of linear TV stands at 170 million, the breakup of which being digital cable at 52.5 million, DTH at 53 million, and free dish, which is free DTH, at 64 million. Now, to understand the consumption of all these homes, we've got a panel of some 50,000 homes where you install this hardware device called a people meter, which in my view is the cause for a system failure. So let's understand the first problem, hardware. What does that mean? So any hardware, unlike an application involved in a phone, involves cost. So even if it's $100, but if you're talking at 10, 20, 30, 50,000, you multiply that with the hardware, which is a constraint in scalability. So that's a big problem, cost owing to hardware. Two is the installation. So if you are representing 28 states, 8 union territories, thousands of stratas within that, going to each strata, each market, each city itself is a logistical nightmare. You've got 28 states in India, 8 union territories, 4,000 plus towns, 6 lakh plus villages in India. To get the fair representation, you need to install those people meters in multiple markets. So the installation is a logistical nightmare. Third most important thing, since I'm part of a data and a research company, maintaining hardware is a nightmare. 50,000 pieces of hardware installed across the country, making sure each of them is working is a nightmare. It does not happen. Managing them, replacing parts is impossible. So expecting a system to constantly work will not work. Now the second part of this problem on ratings again is hardware. Why? Leakages of a hardware where the device involved, a piece as big as this involved in 50,000 homes, you think you can maintain the oath of secrecy? One field staff, thousands of people involved in the installation of these devices are hugely prone to leaking the addresses out. You cannot expect 1,000 people to maintain secrecy. Two white-collared people with access to this data, hugely prone to data leakages. We might code the homes, but still, at the end of the day, when you aggregate addresses, there are coordinators who have access to that. Three, most vulnerable is the panel home itself. Any home which has an installation is most likely to announce it. You've got guests coming home, you've got a device installed in the living room, and this entire installation system of panel homes works through referrals. So if I've got a box installed, I probably will let my neighbor know or my neighbor's neighbor know, and that's how the system builds up. So if you've identified one home, you get the entire chain simply by referral. So leakage is a big problem. The third big challenge to do with the rating systems again is hardware. You're talking of installing a device which needs a button to be pressed each time you're watching TV. So if I'm watching it, I need to identify myself as a male or a female or the kid so that the system can generate the demographics. So do you expect 50,000 people and multiply 50,000 homes by an average of 5 people, you expect 250,000 people to each time press a button whenever they watch TV? Won't happen. Demographics do not come out. Privacy. Any home which gives you access to a device is allowing invasion of privacy. You've got a living room, you've got a device installed, you've got a person coming from a ratings agency to collect data to fix the device. That's invasion. And that comes to the third problem, which is quality of respondents. So you'll never get the right quality of respondents. So this entire thing of ratings being rigged is no news. It is a system failure rampant for the last 25 years, simply owing to the fact that the tech is archaic. The process or using hardware today, so measuring 170 million homes on the back of 50,000 devices is preposterous. You would have heard of fitting a round peg in a square hole or a square peg in a round hole. This is neither of the two. This is basically trying to fit a 20 square feet peg in a 20 million square feet hole. Doesn't work. It's a system failure. Happens, been happening for the last 25 years, will continue happening. Needs a radical change, radical shift of measurement through software, through mobile devices. New tech needs to be incorporated to ensure that the 50,000 can scale up to probably 50 million, if not 50 million, at least 5 million. And once you scale a threshold, the chances or the probability of rigging comes down to zero. And the only way this will happen is by elimination of what we call the hardware.